Welcome back to another episode of UNEX Ukrainian News Express. Here are the latest updates on the 610th day of the war in Ukraine. Donetsk front. The Avdiivka sector remains a hotbed of heavy combat. The Russians have been persistently pressuring areas between Stepov and the Waist Hill. Both Ukrainian and Russian sources confirm that Russian troops have gained a foothold near the railway in this area. Russian forces seem to be advancing towards Avdiivka's chemical plant, using waves of infantry forces launched from the Waist Hill. Despite their efforts, they haven't been able to advance past the railway, with Ukrainians maintaining a solid stance near Stepov and on the northern outskirts of Avdiivka. In response, the Ukrainian army has begun counterattacks on the Russian flank. Reinforcements, including Ukrainian M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, are now operating on the northern sector, likely from the 47th Mechanized Brigade. Russian sources, including Rybar, affirm that the Ukrainian army is counterstriking Russian positions near towns like Ocheretine and Novokalinov. This aims to repel Russian forces from trenches north of Krasnohorivka, effectively halting their advance towards Stepov and the chemical plant. Ukrainian strategies seem effective. Footage reveals intense combat in this region, with Ukrainian drones damaging at least 4 Russian tanks. Combat continues in the southern sector, albeit with less ferocity. Ukrainian forces, aided by FPV drones and artillery, have successfully countered south of Avdiivka, pushing back Russian forces along key transportation routes. The Russians seem to have momentarily halted their campaigns towards Siverny and Tonenka, redirecting their focus towards Pervomaiska. Continuous Ukrainian counterattacks have likely diverted Russian attention away from strategically important regions near Siverny and Tonenka. Kherson Front. The situation in Kherson is evolving rapidly. Battles have erupted in new Ukrainian bridgeheads near Krinky and north of Pidstepny. Ukrainian troops, as seen from geolocated footage, have solidified their foothold across the Dnipro River. They're actively scouting for weak Russian defensive points, aiming for further territorial gains. A Russian source, Wargonzo, reports that Ukrainian troops with artillery backing are attacking regions near Poima and Pishkanivka. Their goal: to reach the intersection of the M14 and M17 highways. North of Pidstepny and near Krinky, tensions are escalating. Recent gains by Ukrainian forces north of Pidstepny have been consolidated and are expected to expand. Ukrainian forces continue to hold strong in Krinky, despite intensified Russian attempts to reclaim the territory. Ukrainian forces recently incapacitated 2 Russian tanks in this region, thanks to FPV drones. An assault by Russian infantry through forests south of the settlement was also effectively neutralized by heavy Ukrainian artillery fire.